Welcome back, City Builders. Kodiak the Kodiak here. In today's video, we're going to be going over all of the things they talked about in today's development diary. Number one, going over the new PDX Mods, something a lot of us have been looking forward to. And because I was granted early access to PDX Mods, as well as some of the other new content that's going to be coming out and announced in the next few days, I can actually speak candidly on my experience with PDX Mods and show some extra images of the PDX Mods itself. Now, before we get started, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and do not forget to turn on that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all of the videos that I'll be going over this week. We'll be doing one for each of the dev diaries, and each time I will have extra information available for you. On top of that, I was also told that this Sunday I am allowed to live stream the game starting at 1 p.m. So I will be able to talk completely freely about everything with PDX Mods, the new update, as well as any of the new content that I have access to. I'll actually have a link to that live stream already preset and ready down below. I don't know if I can put it up in the annotations. If I can, I'll have it up there as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so here we are on the PDX forums. And the way I've kind of decided I want to do this video is actually just go through the dev diary first. And then if there's added information that I feel like is essential to talk about, again, I can talk about my experiences with PDX Mods and answer questions that you guys might have down in the comments, as long as it doesn't breach my NDA or my embargo. Obviously, on Sunday when we do the live stream, I can speak fully about the game. So if you have any further questions or something I can't answer, you can feel free to stop on through that day on either here on YouTube or on Twitch, which I will also be live on, and I'm live quite a bit more if you guys ever wanted to drop a follow over there. We do a lot of other games over there, not just cities, but I'll be more freely able to answer questions. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put that out in the comments, and if I can answer it, I will. So as we scroll down here, we go to Modding Development Diary number 1, guest entry, PDX Mods in Cities Skylines 2, introduction. Right, so the time has come to lift the lid off the modding interface and its backing service. As many of you know, PDX has been running our own mod backend for years, inevitably named PDX Mods. As a matter of fact, the first game we hosted mods for was the Xbox version of Cities Skylines 1, which I didn't know. I didn't know that was a thing. I know they have PDX mods for other games. I'd heard mixed things kind of from certain communities about whether or not they liked the PDX mods interface, but I didn't know that they actually started doing this with Cities Skylines 1. And as far as I understand it, the Cities Skylines 2 version of PDX mods, because I haven't used PDX mods for any other game, is quite a bit different than it is for those other games. In order to give players on all platforms the same possibilities, PC and console alike, the Cities Skylines 2 team has chosen to use PDX Mods to officially host mods for the game. Now, the discerning reader might be wondering what that means for players and how they interact with mods. Read on. The player experience. As we have seen in other titles, primarily Surviving Mars, offering access from inside the game itself means that many more players interact with them and more people discover the fun that comes from modding a game. I'll also add on to that and say that games that usually have like a better mod interface built into the game, like if any of you have played RimWorld before, it has a full auto check system to make sure that the game is running the right version of the mod if it's up to date. And those quality of life features are really nice, and we do have some of those here with PDX Mods. In Cities Skylines 2, the interface to PDX Mods will be found in the game's menu. Have a look. This is one of the pre-baked images. This is what my game currently looks like as well, other than the fact that I'm logged in, obviously. But we now have access to the editor beta here, as well as PDX Mods beta. So if we go down further, the PDX Mods interface will allow you to discover and search and just plain browse through those mods from inside the game. Additionally, our staff will highlight especially interesting, popular, or unique mods for your consideration. So they have an example mod here. We'll go over that in a second, but I would like to kind of back up here and talk about the PDX Mods interface will allow you to discover, search, and just plain browse through those mods from inside the game. And they truly mean inside the game. You can be inside a save and open PDX Mods. So if, let's say, you forget a hotkey for Move It, let's say, you could go in and actually figure out what that hotkey is in game by opening up PDX Mods from the menu and actually go in and actually look at that mod's profile page directly. And it's all pretty seamless too. It feels just like another menu. It does have to load up because you're loading a bunch of information, but other than that, it's not really too stressful, and it's bringing over that feature of something that you could do in with just regular Steam Workshop, where you could just shift tab and open up the Steam overlay and then go to the workshop page from there. Now, here is an example mod right here. We do have some restrictions on mods that we can show off if the mod creator allows us to. So I'm going to try to stick to their example photos here and talk about my experiences with them from these examples that they put in the actual dev diary, for the sake of making sure that I'm not breaching any of the modders' interest in showing off their mods. So right here we have mod of the week. The future of urban delivery is not drones, but donut drones. This is basically just like a silly mod that they kind of came up with, that it's a drone, delivers donuts. But we can already see a few things here about the PDX Mods interface. So first off, we obviously, it says PDX Mods up here in the top left. We have featured, which will go over all of the featured mods. So for us, it doesn't say donut drone. It actually gives a description of like the featured page and like what it is for us specifically. And then down over here is the staff picks. And my assumption is that these staff picks are going to be a more direct way for them to highlight things like the mods of the month that Biffa, or maybe it was mods of the week, I actually don't remember, but Biffa and I think Bisquickelhausen actually were doing for Cities Skylines 1, where they would show off some highlighted mods for that week. And I think this is probably their way of integrating that directly into the game, which is really great for those map creators and the content creators as well, who want to feature those videos and those assets and mods. We also have the browse option, which takes us to the full browse page where we can search through all the mods. We have playsets over here where we can actually go through our playset, which I'll explain in a little bit, and the library, so you can actually see which mods you actively have downloaded and are actively using. It does say view details here. That is not something that is on the normal pages. That is just because this is a featured one, so it allows you to go directly to that mod's page, but it does have some extra things on there. It does say Glazed Express. Again, this is how they're going to feature specific mods, and this is not something that we are able to access, but there is some interesting information on here. It does tell you the size of the mod, how many people have downloaded it, as well as the author. And if you actually click on the author's name, it does take you directly to all of the mods that they have uploaded to PDX Mods, which is obviously pretty nice. It takes you directly there. No dilly-dallying. You're just straight looking at all the mods that they've uploaded. So if we go down from there, in common with other games that use PDX Mods, the interface will allow you to create and manage playsets, which is something that we didn't have in Cities Skylines 1 under that name. What playsets are collections. So they're basically collections from the Steam Workshop, or if you use Skyve, I believe TDW labeled them as playsets for that. And we'll actually go over some of the mods that have been announced as part of the Cities Skylines modding Discord announcements. They did announce some of the mods that are coming to Cities Skylines 2 and should be available at launch, I think. I don't know if they've explicitly stated that, but Skyve is one of the mods that they actually talked about. So if you use Skyve in Cities Skylines 1 for your mod management needs, that does exist for Cities Skylines 2, and we will go over that as part of this video, as all of that is now public information. If you have played other PDX titles, the concept may be familiar, but if it's new to you, playsets are basically playlists for your mods that form easily toggleable experiences. If you place a mod that has a dependency in a playset, you'll automatically be asked if you want to add all dependencies. Yes, we do resolve the entire tree of dependencies. So let me break this down for you. So playsets can be basically just toggled on and off, or you can toggle on or off specific mods from that playset. So when we get assets eventually, if you want all of your European assets in this playset, so it doesn't, you're only loading in those ones, you can do that specifically with these playsets. It's a much simpler system than Steam's collection system. Steam's collection system was pretty lackluster, but with the help of Skyve for Cities Skylines 1, it was much easier to use. But now that is all built in directly with PDX Mods. So if you don't want to mess around with Skyve or any other systems, or if you're just looking for just simpler collections where I want this city to be more vanilla, I want a vanilla light, and this one to be heavily modded, you can use different playsets for that. And it will automatically download the dependent mods, just like it does on Steam. When you go to download a mod and they're like, hey, this actually requires a different mod, it actually automatically will try to trigger and download those rather than Steam just giving you the warning, which is quite nice. So if we scroll down a bit further, of course, the in-game interface is not the only way to manage your mods. Playsets can be constructed from PDX Mods website as well, and all of the mods can actually be found on the PDX Mods website as well. I don't think can have access to it right now. I believe only early access users can actually access those web pages, but each mod will have an official website page dedicated to it as well, so you can quickly and easily share those mods to other people. Their mods can be added, removed, and toggled, and all of this will then be synced to your game automatically. Likewise, playsets are stored in our backend and will be replicated to all devices you happen to play the game on, and consequently, no, your careful constructed playsets will not disappear if your computer lets out a magic smoke inside. So basically what they're saying is that this is all cloud saved and stored, and it is cross-system, essentially. I don't know if it'll be cross-platform with Xbox, probably. I would assume that you would just not get access to the code mods because Xbox will not have access to that, but if you are playing on Game Pass and Steam, I think you should be able to then have access to both of those the playsets essentially on both of those systems. Mod discussions are also available directly from in-game, but the same discussions are also present on our forums. If you would rather post from web interface, you can also find links to other SoMe platforms related to the mod, if pointed out by the creator. So you will have basically direct links to different things. Let's actually go in here and take a look at this. So you can open full discussion or find discussions. Those are basically kind of like the comments to the mod specifically. This is, again, the example mod profile right here for that mod of the donut drone. You can see how many subscribers there are, how many likes it has, the size of the mod version, the suggested game version. And this one's pretty nice because there's currently some mods, let's say, on the PDX Mods interface that are not up to date with the current game version because the modders are actively still working on these things and getting them up to date with the new version of the game. And it automatically gives you a warning when you go to download it, like, hey, this is not for the correct game version. And Skyve also does a really good job with that as well. But I don't want to say too much. We also have the author right here, and then more about this mod, which can link to the mod creators' YouTube page, their Discord, the Paradox forum link, and a GitHub if you want to download the mod separately and independently from Paradox Mods, which is super awesome. And one extra thing, I really want to give a huge shout out to Paradox or Colossal Order, whoever endorsed this. I assume Paradox in a way endorsed this, but in those more about this section where you can have all those links, you can also have a PayPal or a Patreon link so you can directly support these content and asset creators who work so hard to create these mods for us for free. And it's really cool that they just allow these links to exist. They're not trying to take a cut off of it at all. Again, Paradox Mods will be completely free. They've stated this multiple times, and they're giving the mods and asset creators a direct link to receive donations from you, the community. So super sick. I'm so appreciative that they did that, and they deserve big props for doing that. You guys can see here the full description for it. I'll allow you guys to read this using the link down below to this actual developer diary, but you can see down here where you can open full discussion that will take you to a separate web page, and then the discussion will be down here in the actual post. You will have a report option down over here as well. Naturally, there are other ways to get mods than from Paradox Mods, creating them yourself, for instance, or of course, the game will allow you to add local mods of any sort to your playset. So if you get mods from other sources, they're not just restricting every aspect of modding to Paradox Mods. They're using Paradox Mods as the official platform for modding, but that doesn't restrict you completely from only using Paradox Mods to get the mods. They do say, be aware that these will not be cloud synced and will indeed be lost on a catastrophic system failure. So the creator experience. Now, in order to have actual mods to play with, there needs to be ways of submitting mods to the game. You can find instructions on how to upload your map and code mods here. Those are available on the wiki, which we've talked about quite a bit at this point, but I will leave a link to my video breaking down all of the wiki updates that I had found last week before they even announced Paradox Mods was coming out this quickly. And I'll have that down in the description, and how to create them to begin with, which we'll leave to our friends at Colossal Order to share more information about starting tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have all the information about the map editor. We can mention that as a mod creator, you can add metadata to your mod, such as descriptions, screenshots, dependencies, release notes, supported game versions, etc. This information can be changed at any time through the Paradox Mods website as well. If you so wish, you can also add the discussion section to your mod. So basically, if you make a mod or a map and a game version updates, you can basically go in and say, this works for this version without doing too much. You just change it, publish the new version, and it's good to go. So right here, we can see a bunch of different things from the upload page here. We can cycle between games and a bunch of other stuff. Right here we have upload mod, Glazed Express, which is the name of the donut drone mod here. So we have game, name, images, files, versions, preview, and you can enter in the name here just to make sure. You can put tags, so this is a code mod tag. Forum link, a link to Paradox Plaza forum discussion for this mod, so you actually don't even need to have a discussion. I know some people didn't for Steam Workshop as well for for specific mods, but you can put one in if you want to have the community help you troubleshoot or submit any issues or problems with your mod. External links here, so you can basically have those external links, much like I showed earlier, which was the GitHub, somebody's YouTube, their Discord. Down further is enter a short description, which is required, and then you can enter a long description. So the short description is if it's featured or when you click on it, what's the short little blurb, and then down over here is the long description, which is the full one where you can thank people and just include all the things you want to include. Down here we have even more information, so you can put the thumbnail, so the Donut Drone thumbnail right there, and then the gallery images, so the images that will cycle through that people can look at, and you can have up to 10 of those. So down over here that says, this wraps up our little teaser from PDX Mods team, and we're buzzing with excitement to get this out to you as soon as we're allowed. We're all ears for your feedback because let's face it, we're on a mission to create something of value across all platforms, blemishes and all. Tomorrow Colossal Order is back and they will go into detail about the in-game editor where you will create the actual mods that will in turn populate the PDX Mods library. PDX Mods releases on the 25th of March together with the Beach Properties asset pack. Now, really quickly, we are allowed to share our own images from PDX Mods. We're not allowed to record anything from PDX Mods and upload that. So I'm going to show you guys an image that will give this even a bit more information on the official mod pages. Okay, so here we are. This is a screenshot. This is not like in-game, obviously. I just want to show that off as part of my embargo. But this is an image from the actual PDX Mods in-game of my game, because they didn't actually show off what the top of this mod page actually looks like. So this here is the actual page for Skyve, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. In here you can see this is the thumbnail. Not only is it the thumbnail, it is also the actual image showing off the mod, which you can have multiple of those. We'll talk about those in a little bit as well. But up here it says Skyve Beta. You can add or remove it from your active playset, as we've kind of previously discussed what playsets are, but you can add or remove it from the playset. You can like the mod if you like it. You can add tags to the mod as well, as something they didn't really talk about in the description until later, but this is where you can actually see the different tags for the game. You have your mod info, so you can see who's subscribed, likes, the size, mod version, suggested game version, author, blah, 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 blah. But they didn't really show off what it's supposed to look like, and so I wanted to show that off to you guys. Another thing I want to show off is that actually down below there is a button for the changelog, and you can actually go through here and look at all of the changes made to the mod, which is really nice to figure out, like, hey, did this change with this mod? Did they fix this bug? Why is the keybind not working anymore? Oh, the modder changed what keybind it works with, so that way it does something else. You can see all of that here in the changelog, which is really nice for if you're troubleshooting. Next up is what the browse page actually looks like. So this is what the browse page will actually look like here. So we have some filters over here for code mods, European theme, North American theme, the maps, as well as different save games if you want to upload your save game to PDX Mods as well. You can search up here. So I've searched for Skyve and it's given me Skyve Beta here. You can see a little bit of information about it, how big it is, how many likes it has, how many people have downloaded it, as well as the mod author. If you click on the mod author, it will actually change your search bar up here and say @TDW/Skyve, and it'll show you everything that TDW has uploaded to the mod workshop. You can change between which playset you're working on. So I'm working on the initial playset for as my active playlist. This is my initial playset. You can exit out of PDX Mods obviously as well, but this is what the actual browse page looks like. One thing about the browse page before we move on is that when we are looking at the actual mods themselves, it really doesn't give any description to us visually or at all just about the mod. It just says what the mod is and a bunch of information about it, but no description straight to us from there, which I think is fine in a way. But if we were to, like, let's say select a mod, like I were to click on Skyve, for example, it would take me directly to the mod, and I might not want to actually go directly to the mods page. And while PDX Mods is pretty fast, I would just like a way to just quickly see a brief summary or description of the mod rather than directly going to the mods page and leave my search that I currently have active. Now, for some reason, the playset picture in the dev diary is very much not full screen, and you can't really click on it the same way you can with the other ones. I'm not really too sure why this one's so low res and is like a Google picture, but in here you can see some things about the playset option. So we can go back to all playsets. So this is when you click into your specific playset. So you've clicked into your playset and you can see everything that's in here. You can toggle mods on and off if you don't want them, or if you do, how much data you're actually loading. So this one says 11.23 megabytes total, the size of each mod that's available in there, what they are. They have a community college here. They have an Aztec pyramid thing, left-hand path, Tiberium deposit. You can delete the mod fully right here, and you can change the load order over here. And you can actually reset the load order up here at the top. That could be pretty useful for mods that maybe have issues with load order, and I hope that they have an automatic load order check built into Paradox Mods. I don't know if they do, but you know, all signs are pointing at least towards maybe something like that existing. And you can activate it right here if it's not your active playset. So right here is what the library will look like. Now, I do have it search for water features, which is a mod that's currently available on Thunderstore. It's by Yen Yang. This has been announced that it's going to be part of Paradox Mods already, so I felt comfortable showing this one off. As part of our embargo, we're not really, as far as I understand, we're not supposed to show off mods that are publicly available, that the modders haven't talked about them being publicly available yet. So I want to make sure that the ones I'm showing you guys are ones that have been announced. And we'll actually go into which ones that have been announced in a little bit. But here you can see what that would look like. If you removed water from this, it would populate a bunch of mods. It wouldn't just be water features. But again, I'm just specifically highlighting this one for the sake of showing off the library. So right here, you can see where it's uploaded. So this is uploaded via Paradox Mods. I believe this logo will be different if it's a local mod. I could be totally wrong on that. That's just an assumption I'm making. We have the thumbnail for it. It says water features. It says how big it is. You can remove it from the active playset as well. And you can also have some different sorting options like most recent or last updated or things like that. Finally, we have the actual playsets tab. I know we showed off what an individual playset looks like before, but this is the playset I currently have active right now. It's the only one I currently have. And you can see here that it shows off one of the mods that's in it. I don't know if you can change the thumbnail for it yet. I haven't really looked. You might be able to, but in theory that maybe you could change the thumbnail for your playsets here, but it's named initial playset. We have 10 mods active. You can see when it was last updated right here and whether or not you have it active or another mod playset active. Now that we're done kind of going over what's in Paradox Mods, I want to go over here to the Cities Skylines modding Discord, where they're actually talking about some of the mods that are going to be available with Cities Skylines 2's PDX Mods drop on Monday. So PDX Mods, the new dev diary about the distribution platform, can be read here. Keynotes. Paradox Mods can be accessed in-game menu similar to Steam Workshop. It was even more integrated from my personal opinion. A new feature, playsets, is the center of the modding experience. Playsets allow you to create a set of mods and assets in future to customize your playthrough. Playsets can carry across which device you're playing the game. Discussions about mods can be made through an in-game interface or on the PDX forums, Discord, YouTube, or GitHub. Mod authors can link their communities on mod pages to direct their users. Mod authors can specify compatible game version descriptions, screenshots, dependencies, notes, etc. via the upload interface. One thing I did forget to show off was the actual dependencies thing on the side of the screen, but I don't know. I felt weird like showing off certain mods and like then it's showing different mods that I don't know if they've publicly announced that mod's going to be on PDX Mods yet. So out of respect for the modders, I didn't show that off, but there is going to be also an option next to the change log that will actually show which mods are dependencies as well, but it will auto flag them and try to download them for you anyways. Available mods on PDX Mods launch cycle. Modders of Cities Skylines 2 beta and early access were already busy with updating and uploading their mods for PDX Mods release on the 25th of March. There are various mods on the website at the moment, notably Skyve from TDW, which we've already kind of showed off quite a bit today, and we actually have some more information on Skyve down below. Move It from Cuboid, everybody's favorite mod. Very excited about that one. Anarchy, Better Bulldozer, water features from Yen Yang. So all of those mods from Yen Yang will be available on, or I guess are already available. Notably missing is Tree Controller. It does say here, Tree Controller may be available for launch. It is a work in progress. So Yen Yang is currently working on Tree Controller. Very excited for that. Would definitely like Tree Controller for launch. Abandoned Building Remover, School Capacity Balancer, Magic Hearse, Magic Garbage Truck from Waze, Unified UIL, so Unified Icon Library, Historical Start, Image Overlay, and 529 tile mods from Algernon, 529 tiles. Absolutely fantastic. Addresses and names, Extra Transport Manager, and extra UI screens from Clyte. These were actually available on Thunderstore at one point in time, but they were taken off due to, I think it was due to the way Thunderstore actually made Clyte package them, or something to do with the actual size of the mods. And so Clyte actually, from what I understanding, pulled them and was like, you had them on like a different website for a bit, but they will be available on PDX Mods. I don't fully remember the details behind that, but these were on Thunderstore for quite a while, and I was using these mods, and then one day I removed them, and then I couldn't get them back. So I'm very glad to have them back. And more, including maps. There is quite a few maps available, so that will be really exciting. A new section is created on the modding Discord for PDX Mods content, which will go into public on March 25th. So here's all of some images of the mods. We have the new Move It, Anarchy, Unified Icon Library. We've kind of already talked about these. There is an FPS limiter as shown right here, which is absolutely fantastic. I really like the FPS limiter. Do keep in mind that it defaults to 30, so you will immediately have to go in if you want it higher than 30 FPS for whatever reason. I haven't taken a look at Scene Explorer, so I'm not really too sure what that one does yet either. So if we scroll down further here, Skyve, mod manager for Cities Skylines 2. You are familiar with Skyve from Cities Skylines 1. TDW was working to expand Skyve's original capabilities for Cities Skylines 2, and now that PDX Mods is getting ready to launch next week, he can show some previews and features to expect from the mod manager of Cities Skylines modding community on launch day. Skyve 2 will allow you to browse and discover all PDX mod content directly through Skyve. So you don't even need to use PDX Mods. You can do everything through Skyve now, which is honestly really cool. Obviously, I haven't really had a chance to fully utilize that because there's not that much populating PDX Mods right now in terms of stuff that I didn't already look at beforehand before actually like booting into Skyve, but it is really cool. I can definitely say that. We'll go into the pictures in a minute here, but big fan. Subscribe and download mods directly from Skyve's interface, manage your PDX Mods playlist, and use extra options native to Skyve, brand new mod page with all the information directly from PDX Mods, improved mod capability checker system, and many more. So it'll automatically check that a mod has an issue. So there was like a couple mods that were like a little out of date when I got into early access, and this actually warned me about those. So that's super sick. I was a big proponent of Skyve for Cities Skylines 1, and I still will be for Cities Skylines 2, as TDW will have a more direct access with Colossal Order and working with the PDX Mods interface rather than the Steam Workshop. Skyve is also redesigned and will be shipped with a polished interface, including the updated dark mode, which I'm currently using as well, and definitely better than the light mode. If you have any general questions regarding Skyve, you can head to Skyve General here in the Cities 2 Modding Discord. Again, I'll leave a link to the Discord down in the description channel in the Cities Skylines Modding Discord. Again, technical issues related to Skyve will be addressed on this specific Discord for ease of tracking. So if there's any technical issues, you go to the official Cities Skylines Modding Discord to have that. So if we want to go in, there is actually some videos down here. So we're gonna take a look at the images first. So right here, we have dashboard PDX Mods playsets up here, so you can manage all of that up there. We have content packages, mods, and assets down here. So once we get assets, those will be available down here, but you also have access to mods here and some packages as well. Maintenance compatibility report, which basically tells you if the mods are compatible with each other or the version of the game. Help and logs and utilities. So help and logs will be really beneficial if there's like an issue and you have a catastrophic failure or something like that. And then utilities, and then other is options, where you can change the looks of Skyve. You basically get all the same information that is available to you in PDX Mods, but you don't have to launch the game in order to do any managing, much like the website. You can do it all through Skyve with a bunch of added features that isn't included in PDX Mods. So if you're looking for a more advanced, sophisticated system in order to manage your game's mods and assets, you can do that here with Skyve. Again, it functions a lot like the one from Cities Skylines 1, so if you used it for Cities Skylines 1, you can actually use, this should be pretty self-explanatory to how a lot of it works. We can go over here to playset, you can change your active playset, and so you can see this is the active playset, this is another playset, so you can activate this playset by clicking here. This is the active playset, and then this is another playset for map making and creation, contains 2 mods, contains 2 mods, contains 4 mods, so you have some information here about all of that. You can favorite them if you want easier access to different playsets if you have a bunch going. We can go over here and take a look at the gallery for specific mods. So this is Lake Anoke. I think it's how you pronounce it in New Zealand. My newest city that I'm currently building in my live streams, which might die with this new update. As we all know, updates always break mods. So like, it might be broken at this point, but this is a fantastic map, and I highly suggest it. I was absolutely loving my build on this, and I might literally restart it on this one, Rafterman. definitely one of the best map makers currently in Cities Skylines. There's a lot of great map makers, but Rafterman's definitely up there. But we have a bunch of information over here, so we can see the tags. It's got the map tag right here. You can add custom tags for yourself if you want. The links that are included in PDX Mods, as well as all the same info that was included there as well. You can add it to your activated playset. You can check the compatibility, see what it's compatible with, what it's not. That's available on the workshop currently, and more info and options up here, as well as all of the preview images down below. I'll leave a link to this mod on Thunderstore down below. If you want to download it early, you just drag and drop it in a folder or use Map Installer through Thunderstore. Definitely give this map a look. Finally, the last image of the images shared for Skyve is the packages. So in here, packages, we can see if the package is stable as last reviewed. We can see compatibility, gallery info, playsets, changelog, compatibility issues. So it says here, hey, these are a problem because he put a local version of the same mod in here as a test. So it flagged it automatically. It's like, hey, you can find donation links to support your favorite modders. As well as map makers and anything of the assets type as well when those are available. And a link to their Discord, and, you know, just all of the general information that you would have gotten from Skyve. The video is out of date at this point, but if you guys want to take a look at it, I actually have a full tutorial on how to use Skyve for Cities Skylines 1. Again, it's a little out of date. TDW did some updates to Skyve since I uploaded it, but it does give a pretty good general breakdown of like what's available in it, which you can find down in the description down below. So finally, we also have Skyve in action down here, browsing PDX mods directly through Skyve's interface, which is the first clip here, and then we also have improved compatibility checker system, which is the second clip. They specifically say here, clip 2 features an Easter egg from an upcoming tutorial. Spoiler alert. Let's just listen to that. I mean, like, spoiler alert. It's me. TDW didn't realize he was recording audio, as far as I understand it, while we were discussing some of the features of Skyve, as I am going to be doing the tutorial for TDW. So once I got early access, we began kind of discussing some things related to Skyve, so that's why my audio is in the background there. So we'll be doing a tutorial breaking down Skyve and how it works at some point here on the channel once TDW gets Skyve out of beta, or at least at a point in which he wants a tutorial done. Anyways, we can go over here to the first video, and you can see that it's just a one-click solution. You click the little button here, and it adds Better Bulldozer tool to your playset. You can also see down over here to the left that it tells you that you're downloading it, just like you could in Cities Skylines 1. For those of you who didn't use it, that's how it functionally works. And you can also search through PDX mods in here. You don't even need to go in-game, which is pretty nice. If we go over to the next one where you can actually hear my voice in the background, I'll actually mute myself here. You can actually see him go through and select compatibility issue packages. So that was the compatibility issue screen to show that there is preserve photo mode. There's 2 versions of it. So he's selecting the local version. So he hits select package, and then it goes through and loads up the compatibility issue. So it was last reviewed on March 17th. Are you experiencing issues with this package? You can request a review. So if you're noticing issues with it, Skyve can go in and actually flag other users. And ambiguity, the source code of this mod is not available because it's a local mod, and you should not use it unless you trust the author. But if it's a local mod, you've probably downloaded it. Maybe it's your own mod that you're making, and so that is why it says that. Now, Skyve is in beta, and TDW does plan on adding more features to it and maybe changes the way that maybe the UI works or different things work for it. So do keep that in mind, that if you're watching this video a little later, this might look a little different. But otherwise, I think that's everything that I have the ability to talk about right now. If you guys have any questions related to Paradox mods, how easy it is to use or anything like that, I really like Paradox mods so far. I think it's got maybe a few kinks here and there, but there's really nothing that I don't think is necessarily a bug that I don't think is going to get worked out at some point. I don't really notice any glaring issues with its interface, and with it working so seamlessly with Skyve, I don't really see any glaring issues that are worth complaining about. And if there's one thing I wanted to actually nitpick on, it's the apparently right now we can't really share playsets with one another, or I guess the collections, if that you want to refer to it as Cities Skylines 1 terms. So that would be something that would be a little nice to be able to share. There has been some creators, I think TW is one of them, that was actually able to basically make a dummy mod that had a ton of dependencies that linked to the mods in the collection that he wanted to create. So there is a way around it currently, but it's not an easy solution. So that is something that I really hope they work out. Also, if you guys remember earlier when I was talking about the thumbs up that was available on all the mod store pages, I would actually like a little bit more information. I would maybe like a star rating or maybe like a thumbs down approval rating. I think it's really easy to like maybe barrage that or manipulate that if a bunch of people are like unhappy with a certain state of the mod. But I would like some way to tell like whether or not this mod is reputable and the community actually likes it. And I think the only way to really do that is by having a star rating or maybe a thumbs down to counter the thumbs up. There is also the actual PDX Mods webpage version of these mods, and I actually have no idea if I can share any of that with you guys, so I'm not going to specifically show any information on that, but I would like to actually disclose that on that webpage, there is a little bit more information and maybe some better UI elements. Like we can change the different version of the mod using that webpage as well. So if that's something that we really need access to or you need access to, if you like somehow can roll back your game version and you want a rolled back version of the mod, or there's a mod update that's not dependent on the game version and it breaks everything, you can actually roll back to a previous version, which is really nice. It's not really a criticism. It's just more or less like that's a really nice feature, and I don't know if that's actually implemented inside the PDX Mods UI in-game, but it is available for you on the actual web page. Which again, with my embargo, I'm not actually sure if I can show off to you guys, but I would like to explain that that feature does exist and it is available specifically over on the webpage version. You might have to download it locally. I'm not sure how it works, but it is there, and I do like that there is that ability to go back to previous versions if you need to. But let me know what you guys think down below, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And just a reminder again that on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so New York City time zone, I will be live over here on YouTube as well as on Twitch, where I can fully answer any questions that you might have. Anyways, I'll let you guys get on with your day. I've been Kodiak, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.